Am I the asshole for wanting my husband to hold my hand during birth? I, 35 female, am 7 months pregnant. I am married to a family medicine doctor, 35 male, and we've been together for 10 years. Throwaway Reddit, because my sister-in-law follows me on Reddit and reports everything to my husband. I'm reaching out to all of you to ask for your advice on a fight my husband and I are having on our birth plan. My husband really wants to deliver the baby, which I can understand. It's not uncommon for doctors to deliver their own kid. There is still an OBGYN there monitoring everything, and the doctor father steps in at the last minute as mom is crowning to just basically catch the baby. My husband has, I guess, always dreamed of being the one to pull the baby out, while I pictured it very differently. I thought he would be up by my head, holding my hand and helping me through it. He says he will do that, but the easiest part is the very end, where I won't need him anyways. He said if I really want someone there, his mom can step in. I've been on my own since I was a kid living in my car, so I don't have anyone I'd want in there with me except him. I don't really even want his mom in there. She's great, but he is my person. I know it would be cool for him to deliver our baby, but I really feel like I need him there. I personally didn't want our doctors to know he was a doctor, because as soon as any of my doctors or even our vet finds out he's a doctor, they talk exclusively to him. I don't even want him to go to the prenatal appointments anymore because no one talks to me. They all talk to him. And I can't ask my questions to anyone but my husband at home. But he's already told everyone he'll be delivering his first baby. I guess I don't want this because I wanted him to be there as a husband and a father and not a doctor. I see him as a doctor 95% of the time, and I wanted to experience this with my husband and not my husband, the doctor. I wanted him to be there for me, as this is my first birth and I'm terrified. He just keeps telling me I'll be fine. He pulled in friends and family who also don't understand my point of view. They said this is his first child too, and to just let him have this since I had the honor of being pregnant. I just really wanted him to hold my hand all the way through it and to be able to share this experience as parents and people instead of a medical professional. I was hoping we could see the baby at the same time and just be equals in this. Am I being selfish for wanting this to be my way? Oh my God, we have an update. I'm going to confront him tonight when he gets home. He's already going to be upset because we both have restrictions on how much time we spend on social media sites, and I have significantly surpassed that today and yesterday, which he'll know as soon as he reviews the router logs. I'm hopeful I can catch him before that makes him too upset. I did reach out to some of our mutual friends just to see what he has told them for why this is so important to him, only to learn he never discussed this with them. I think he made up what he has been saying they said. They were really shocked to learn we've been having this disagreement and were actually quite supportive of an expectant mother controlling her birth plan. I'm quite nervous about his reaction to this as well, and I'd like to get ahead of this. Wish me luck and cross your fingers for me.
My daughter asked how I met her father, and I don't know how to tell her it was through an arranged marriage. My 36 female, husband 56 male, loves photography and has a lot of photo albums of everything, and our daughter 18 female the other day looked at one of them from when I was pregnant with her, and she asked me a question that she had never asked me before. That question was how I met her dad. When I heard her, I froze and didn't know what to say because the day I met him was the worst day of my life. My husband and I got married the same day I turned 18. I met him the day before, and it was a horrible experience because I didn't know if he would be an ugly old man or if he would be a good man or a psychopath. It was a blind meeting, and it was the worst experience of my life. To this day, I wish I could just forget all of the fear I felt before meeting him. I was lucky, and he turned out to be the sweetest person I ever met. Thanks to that, we were able to make it work. We fell in love and we created a beautiful family that we are very proud of. But that doesn't mean we like to tell everyone about how we met. So about 15 years ago, we moved and decided that we would cut off contact with their families and to start from scratch in a new place where no one knows us. None of our friends know about how we met, and we don't want to tell them either. In fact, not even our daughters know because we don't want them to be ashamed or feel negative feeling towards any of us. When my daughter asked me that, I didn't know what to say, and I stayed silent until another photo caught her attention and she started asking me other things. I know that at some point she will ask me again, and I want to give her an answer, but I don't know how. My husband and I never planned on telling them the truth, and we even created a different story to tell them if they asked us how we met. But the moment she asked me, I knew I couldn't lie to her. She has a very idealized image of our marriage. She always says things like she likes to see how affectionate her dad is to me, that she wants to grow up and have a husband like him who gives her flowers every week like he does with me, that she wants a husband who is as good as a dad as he is to her and her sisters. I don't want to tell her the truth and have her think that everything she likes about our marriage is fake because it isn't. I love her dad and he loves me, and it's been that way from the moment we found out I was pregnant with her. But I know that if I tell her that our marriage was arranged, she won't believe that we love each other or even think that her birth was a misfortune, but it wasn't. My husband and I want to know, how can we tell her the truth without making her feel bad? Should we keep sugarcoating the story? If the dad is such a great guy, I do wonder why he was available for marriage at his age when his culture is apparently so gung-ho about shoving 18-year-olds into marriage. Is OP his second or even third wife? If so, what happened to the others? If she's his first wife, then how and why did he stay single so long? And why was he okay marrying a terrified 18-year-old? Even if everything chalks up to a cultural differences, I'd still never be able to look at my dad the same.
My little brother, 3 male, is actually my fiance, 25 male, kid. My fiance, 25 male, and myself, 24 female, have been together since we were 17 and 18 years old. Honestly, he was always kind, handsome, funny, and everyone used to say I was so lucky to have the whole package. I felt so lucky too. He always treated me with love and respect, so this makes everything just so shocking for me. I've always had a good relationship with my mom. It has always been her and I against the world. My dad died in an accident when I was little. We always joke that we are the real life Rory and Lorelai from Gilmore Girls. My mom dated guys on and off, and they were usually cool, but nothing really past the early stages. Around 4 years ago, my mom told me she was pregnant, which was a huge surprise. My mom is around 42 years old, and although she was sort of dating someone recently, I didn't meet the guy, but knew she went on dates, it was still a big shock. She never thought she could be pregnant at her age. She had me when she was super young and oopsie, and I can tell that she was stressed and worried. I decided to support her, since she has always supported me, and tried to reassure her. Since then, had my brother, who is now 3 years old. I have a close relationship with my brother. I have helped take care of him since he was born and just loved the little guy. My fiance was always so helpful with my brother, would take him out for ice cream, playground, pool time during summer, etc., but nothing was weird. He was just my then boyfriend spending time with my brother and I. Now to the how I found out. My fiance and I lived together since we finished college. My fiance was not at home since he was hanging out with friends, but I was home because I didn't feel like going out and just wanted to chill on my sofa. At some point during binge watching a series on Netflix, my laptop died and I was too lazy to go get my charger, so I just took my fiance's iPad. I know the password, but honestly, I've never used it before. The iPad logged in and I got a bunch of messages pinging. I guess he hasn't used it in a while too. Anyways, this got my attention and I went to check it out. And of course, I found everything. My mom's number wasn't under her name, but I recognized the number and verified it with my phone. She was telling him she felt guilty and that I should know. He said he also felt guilty, but couldn't lose me, and they f***ed it up. She said that it was unfair for my brother to never not know his dad, and that if he could live having his son around and not behaving like a dad, but a brother-in-law. I broke down. There weren't a lot of older messages, just some photos stored of my brother as a newborn, my mom pregnant, and more photos of my brother growing up in an album. I couldn't anymore. I cried for what seems like ages, and I waited for my boyfriend to come back home. I wish I was one of those women that could pretend and get things done and get things together before confronting the cheater, but I can't. He came back later that night around 23:30, and I just gave him the iPad with the conversation opened and saw his face go completely pale. I asked for an explanation. When? How? Why? And he didn't want to at first, but knew he had to. Apparently a few years back, while I was traveling with some friends, a girls' trip, my fiance and mom had dinner together. This isn't strange since he has been part of my family for so long. Sometimes mom and fiance would eat together at our place, even if I was busy with sports or out. I did the same with his parents. Somehow, unclear how since he couldn't explain it well, one thing led to another and they ended up sleeping together. They felt guilty, but apparently not guilty enough because they slept together 2 to 3 more times, using the excuse of meeting up to discuss how to tell me. Apparently when my mom got pregnant, they stopped sleeping together and decided to not tell me since my fiance loved me and couldn't lose me. And my mom didn't want to lose her daughter. So here we are now with 2 of the most disgusting humans. I obviously broke the engagement off, told my mom to never talk to me again, and moved in with a friend. I feel bad for my brother since I really do love him, but I can't be around him now. I just can't. I feel like it would remind me of all those times we talked about having kids. I would be his baby mama, only baby mama. We talked about this future since we were 17 years old. So I want to puke every time I think how I was actually taking care of his child with someone else while still having those dreams. I want to puke. Editor's note, comments were mostly supportive, with a few telling their own stories of cutting off parents, and a couple with tales of spouses sleeping with parents. How is this even a thing? People be crazy. Update! July 4th, 2024. 4 days later. As I was afraid, I was indeed confronted near my office this weekend. I knew this was coming, but thought maybe I had more time. My ex was the person to come find me. Yesterday, Wednesday, after finishing work and walking to where my car was parked, my ex was sort of lingering, waiting around. I thought about running, not gonna lie, but I guess in the moment I felt strong enough to get over with it. And instead of having the hanging above my head waiting to be approached again, he asked if we could talk, and I said yes, but I didn't feel like having that conversation over coffee like we were old friends. It felt ridiculous, so I just told him to talk right there. We were in the streets, but somehow it wasn't crowded, but also not completely lonely. Felt right. He basically said sorry 100 times and that I deserved better. I agreed. He said he did love me and that he still does, but he would understand why I wouldn't want anything to do with him. He said that if I did in fact consider giving him a chance, that he would go to therapy, alone or together or both, and that he would work hard to win my trust back. I told him that wasn't possible. There was too much damage. This sounds calm when I type it, but in the moment things came out with much louder tone and harsher words. Anyway, he did say that he is in the process, or will be, it was a bit of a blur, of getting custody, partly, of my brother, and that he in fact does want to be a dad with him. He said he does not want to be together with my mom and that it was a stupid mistake. Sure, because making a mistake 45 times is just a random thing. He couldn't explain why he did it in the first place. I think he doesn't even know himself. I asked if he cheated with someone else before. He said no, not sure to believe it, but he sounded honest. I asked why he didn't come clean, and he said that after he did the deed, he always felt panicked, and it hit him that he could lose me, and he just didn't want to. I told him that if it was to be found out, what was his plan? To have my brother around and ignore their relationship forever? He said he didn't think far enough ahead, and that he was basically going with the idea one day at a time type of survival. I asked him if he felt that my mom had seduced him. He said it was mutual, which made me want to puke again. I asked if he has had any contact with my mom since I found out. He said yes, but mostly about my brother, didn't elaborate more, and I didn't press for more info on that. He said he told his parents the day before or the day before that, not sure, Monday or Tuesday, about everything. The parents were not happy, but they are glad to start building a relationship with my brother, their grandkid. Honestly, all of this felt like a punch in my stomach. I don't know why. The parents wanted to contact me, but he told them to wait until he approached me first, hence why he was here. I said if he started or thought about the custody before I found out, and he said no, but when I found out, it was like the push he needed. Great, seems like I helped him get his shit together. Ugh. And then this past week, he was arranging all of that mess. That's why he hasn't tried to see me before. He sounded and looked defeated, but the whole thing made me, besides sad, angry. I was mainly depressed before, but now I'm furious. I feel like he's still in an okay place and he isn't paying for his actions beyond my leaving him. He will have my brother, his parents, and others move on with his life while I lost everything. I hate him. We parted ways not on a happy note, and I told him to never get near me again. I was done. He asked me to see my brother still, that I was important to him, and tried to guilt trip me, and it worked. But I still think that I can't. I don't know much about my mom and really hope she doesn't come find me anytime soon because I'm fuming right now and I won't be able to handle it. I will be contacting my family and friends and finally doing the blasting today. I think it's about time, and after my talk with him, I got the extra push that I needed. Editor's note, top comment suggesting moving to Australia, can't fault that line of thinking. Update 2, my little brother 3 male is actually my fiance's 25 male kid, July 7th, 2024. Here is the update, July 7th, 3 days from the last post, 7 days from the OG post. Hi again. I want to say thanks for all the support on my last update. Honestly, like I said in my previous post, it really helped me a lot emotionally with all your comments and also all the advice that I got, that being about moving abroad or what to say when I do the blast. Thank you. Here's the update. A lot has happened. I did the blasting, and this is how it went down. I first posted on my family's Facebook group that we share. This is from my mom's family side. I used inspiration of what you all suggested in my last post and said something around the lines of, I want to communicate to you all that my wedding with X has been permanently canceled, since I found out that my mom and my ex had in the last few years a sexual relationship which resulted in the birth of my little brother. I had no clue of any of this, and I found out about all of it last week. I won't have a relationship moving forward with mom and ex for obvious reasons. I would appreciate your understanding, and I felt it was only fair to let you know the situation, since I value transparency and honesty above all. I also included a screenshot of my mother's message, what I said to her once I found out, and a message she managed to write back before I blocked her. Didn't open the message till before the blasting. I didn't want to hear or read her and be persuaded. It exploded. I had family reaching out via text and calling the whole day after the blasting. I would say most were very supportive, and I could tell that they were just as shocked. There were a few neutral and some suspicious and some suspicious that it wasn't the whole story and maybe I misunderstood. My grandparents were in the maybe you misunderstood category, which wasn't surprising since my mom is super close to my grandparents. And like I said before, my mom was always a good mom, so no red flags. I will be moving with a cousin that is more like a sister to me. I haven't reached out to her previously because I knew once she knew everyone would. That's why I went to my friend's place. My cousin is devastated on my behalf and offered to live with her and her 2 kids until I can get my feet on the ground. I accepted and will be moving next week. I'm a bit afraid that this will give my mom an easier access to me, but I can't stay at my friend's place forever. I then proceeded quickly to post a similar message for we share most of our friends since high school and local university friends on Instagram. I created a close friends story and tagged most of them too. This sort of went viral in our friend group. Actually, one of my friends sent me my Reddit post and asked if this was me. I confirmed. They were also shocked and speechless. They never thought my ex would even remotely do anything like this. They said he was crazy about you. Oh well, apparently he went overboard on the crazy part. The group of friends is divided at the moment. Some are completely on my side and some are thinking that this isn't the whole truth. I told everyone that reached out that if they don't believe me to ask their friend if he is asking for custody of my little brother. That kind of shut them up for now. My ex has apparently deleted his social media. Well, yeah. Also, my ex's parents called me like I guessed they would. They were kind to me and were very sorry about everything. I got the feeling they were also overwhelmed and very disappointed. However, it was clear they will be supporting their son. They are very upset at my mother and don't want anything to do with her, but not sure how that will work with my little brother and everything else. They tried to give me info about the custody and what my ex is up to now, but I shut them down quickly and told them I don't want any info. I want to move on. I also asked them to not reach out in the near future, that I needed distance, especially if they will be supporting my ex. He is living with his parents at the moment. Also, my ex and my mother, after the blast, were going nuts trying to reach out to me. They tried calling my friend, who she blocked them, and reaching out from different numbers. I had to put my phone on silent and ignore everyone. However, my mother sent me a long text from another number, and that was a weird text. She said that I was being cruel and that she didn't think she raised me that way. She said she thought we had a better relationship than me blasting out laundry like that without talking to her first, that I didn't have the whole picture. She did mention something that confused me. She said that in her long-ass text, the reason that she slept with my ex is because he reminded her of my dad, that it was grief, that she didn't mean to use him to heal her pain, but she wasn't strong enough. I don't even know what that means. Like, did she think that my ex looks physically like my dad or personality or what? I have seen photos of my dad and, well, yeah, my ex isn't super different, but also not super alike. I mean, they share brown/dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, but that's not so uncommon. I don't see what else. I don't know. That threw me for a loop and honestly makes me want to confront my mom just to know what the hell. From all the things she could say, I was not expecting that. I am holding on better. I don't cry every hour or want to unalive them. But I'm still sad and upset, and it just feels like this isn't my life. It's just a big joke or a bad dream, and I wake up to my normal life. I also need to really start planning my future and start applying for jobs in other cities, or maybe check the possibilities abroad more seriously. I might ask for 2 to 3 days off work to really get my thoughts together and do some research. I'm terrified, to be honest. I feel frozen, but I know I need to start moving. Comments to update. Commenter 1, that mom is hilarious. I thought I raised you better. I never in a million years thought you'd my boyfriend, but here we are. Commenter 2, my petty ass would be sending her that. Comment 3, right, the irony of her blaming you for airing laundry when she did that. Comment 4, the laundry wouldn't be dirty if you hadn't my boyfriend on it. Ayo! Winning comment right there. Editor's notes marked as ongoing because I'm hoping for future updates.
My sister is a bitch. We're actively fighting right now. We're not on talking terms. Normally I wouldn't make a TikTok in this state of like the argument. This bitch fucked with the one thing that I was deeply passionate about. Sissy and I got in a fight. The bitch is trying to set boundaries. I'm growing up, I'm trying to set boundaries, and I'm trying to do things that are like good for me and whatever. Sissy and I are fucking fighting. Exchange the normal like fuck you, you stupid bitch text messages and just like the don't talk to me, I never want to speak to you, I never want to speak to you. In reality, we'll probably speak tomorrow. If you guys remember, Sissy used to do my finances because she's really good with money, so she would go through my money and be like, she basically helped me like set up a budget. Like a bitch loves to spend money. As we're going through my finances, she's like, wait, why do you have your own Amazon Prime account? Like, why don't you just join like the family one with like me, mom, and our oldest sister? Like, oh, I didn't even know you bitches, like this is months ago. I was like, I didn't even know you bitches like had an Amazon account. Like, sure, I'll join, like whatever. Like, why am I paying for my own when we have a family one? Keep in mind that this stupid fucking bitch that I have to call my sister is the one who told me like, hey, why don't you just join the family Amazon? And I thought I ate with that because I was like, yeah, I'm fucking fucking budgeting. Instead of me spending like hundreds of dollars on sushi a month, I'll just cut back on fucking Amazon. I don't know. So I joined the family Amazon, which is already chaotic to begin with because like the weird shit that everyone orders. Oh, I know. Let's actually talk about that. My mom orders supplements every fucking day on this family Amazon, and there's at least like 15 people. Okay, I'm lying. There's probably like 10 people who use this Amazon. I'm like, who the fuck is this random bitch Rebecca who's getting shit sent to her? Like, what is this? Family Amazon is chaos in itself. This past week, I've been telling Sissy, I'm like, I'm so fucking excited for Prime Day. I don't know why I'm so excited for Prime Day, but it really brought me a lot of joy. Never in my life have I been fucking excited for Prime Day, but I was really like, Sissy, I am so excited for Prime Day. Like, every single day I would mention to her, like, get ready for Amazon Prime Day. Like, you would think Amazon was paying me out the asshole, like, as much as I was promoting it, to Sissy being like, I'm so fucking excited for Prime Day. Like, I'm so excited. Whatever. Sissy and I, we get in our fight, and I'm like, whatever, I'll talk to this bitch in 2 fucking days. Yesterday, I log on to Amazon Prime to do some fucking Prime Day shopping, because that's all that brought me joy. Past week, that's the only thing that brought me joy. I go on there to do my fucking shopping, and I'm logged out of the Amazon Prime account. I'm typing in the password, and the password's not fucking working. It's like, no, this is not your password. This is not your password. And guess who has control to the password of the Amazon account? Sissy. I'm like, this bitch locked me out of the fucking Amazon Prime account on Prime Day. Some fucking evil shit. Like, that bitch knew how excited I was and was like, no, go fuck yourself. I call my best friend and I call my mom and I'm bitching. I'm like, Mom, can you log into the Amazon? She's like, no, it won't let me in. And my mom's now getting mad at me. She's like, oh my God, Olivia, like, now your fight is into like my Prime Day shopping. Like, that's so fucking annoying. I'm like, Mom, you're like not understanding the point that like Sissy's mentally insane. But I give it to her. I'm like, you know what? You fucking ate with that. Like, you did eat with that. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna blow your shit up. I'm like, oh, this bitch wants to fight dirty. Like, I'm gonna fight dirty too. On the phone, I'm like telling my mom and my best friend, I'm like, no, I'm gonna fuck her ex-boyfriend. And then they're like, okay, but what? They're like, ew, like what? I was like, I don't know why I said that. Like, I actually didn't mean that at all. Vivid. So here I am on my laptop trying to change her fucking I'm trying to get into her email. Like, I literally thought about hiring like a cyber stalker or like a cyber person to like blow her shit up. I kid you not. That's how annoyed I was. One thing to be in a fight with your sister. There's another thing for her to take away the fucking Prime account and you're like, just buy another Prime account. It's the principle. It's the fucking principle. But yeah, Sissy and I are fucking fighting and she took it too far. Like, I am dead ass upset. I'm upset.
Am I wrong for catfishing a brand? And yes, this did happen to me. Story time. So last year I was invited to go to a festival with one of my favourite brands. I'd done lots of work with them before and had a really good relationship with them. So the idea is that we would do a like 2-hour or so photo shoot beforehand, and then we'd go into the festival and we'd enjoy the music, we'd vibe, we'd dance. It was all going to be fun. So I get there, I'm with 2 other creators, and these creators were so great. I'm actually really glad I met them. And there's a guy from the brand called Steve. I'm chatting with Steve, he's being very complimentary of my work. And then a really random comment from the photographer, which I don't think is linked to this at all. He's looking through the pictures and he says, oh, I actually like the pictures where I can't see your face. Cool. So everything goes well. We go to the hospitality bit. I didn't actually end up seeing any of the artists because the photo shoot went on so long. I missed them all and I had to leave. And that I thought would be it. I'd see the pictures on social media or on their website. Winner. So it was like a thing the brand were doing. They were doing 3 photo shoots and 3 festivals over 3 weekends. And a friend of mine, we will call them Amy, went on the weekend after me. Me and Amy are online friends. We've known each other for a little while, but we actually met for the first time in December, which is where they told me this piece of information. So she comes up to me after we've done the hi, nice to meet you, can't believe it's so long, la 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 la. She's like, I need to tell you something. Basically, Amy had done the exact same thing with the brand a week after, and she turned up and Steve was being very complimentary to her and saying how she looks exactly like she does online, and it really annoys him when people don't look the same as they do online. And Amy's like, right, okay. Then Steve says, do you know Tati Lomas? And very well played. Amy's like, I've seen her online, but like I don't know her. Well played. He then goes on to tell me that on the weekend after, Steve had said to her, oh yeah, that Tati Lomas, such a catfish. Definitely uses filters in all of her videos. Just doesn't look how she does online. Which, for one, I don't use filters. I film on my camera roll, which I don't even think it's possible to use filters on your camera. Obviously, I know it's not true and I try to not let myself overthink the situation too much, but I just wonder how many people he has told that piece of information to. So not only was he bitching about me to other creators. He was also just lying, which is a real shame. So what do you think? Am I wrong here?
2 coworkers, 25 female and 35 male, are having an affair. How can I inform the wife? I, 25 female, work as a receptionist. 4 months ago, I made the stupid decision to recommend my, now former, best friend, Jane, 25 female, for an open position after someone had left. It's a prestigious hotel, so they are very selective about their hiring process. Jane had little to no experience, so I took a risk by vouching for her. Looking back, it was dumb, but I knew she was a hard worker and I could have never guessed what was to come. I trained her during her first month and she picked things up quickly. After that, we began working separate shifts. It was around this time that I started noticing a weird dynamic between her and John, 35 male, our chief receptionist. One night when I arrived for my shift, I found them acting all giggly and their body language just seemed off. They didn't notice me at first, but when they did, they tried a little too much to act cool, which raised some red flags. There have been too many similar situations over the months, but I tried to just deny it. John just had a baby, and his wife comes in at least 4 to 5 times a week, sometimes with the baby too. Jane sees this as well, and I just couldn't think she would do something like that. But the awkward tension, quick glances, and giggles just wouldn't quit. So I brought it up 2 weeks ago when we were out for drinks. I was floored by her response. She confessed in a playful manner, almost like sharing a dirty secret. She said they couldn't keep their hands off each other and that she had wanted to spill the tea but didn't want to involve me in their drama. When I brought up his wife and their newborn child, she said that she didn't care. Apparently, John told her they had been sleeping in separate beds and his wife stopped caring about the marriage after the pregnancy and some other bullshit like that. I was disgusted and we had a major fight. She stormed off and cut all contact with me. Since then, going to work has been hell. John is in charge of our shifts, and ever since our fight, he's been giving me the worst shifts and making sure we're not scheduled together. I've considered telling the wife since day one, but I don't have any proof. Same with our manager and HR. I texted Jane saying, quote, "Tell your boyfriend to stop giving me the worst shifts," hoping for a response that could serve as evidence, but she didn't reply. 1 week ago, someone got sick, and I had to work with the 2 evil fucks. Close to our lunch break, John's wife came in to bring him lunch. She looked tired as hell too, and my heart broke for her. Then I noticed something on John's wrist. He had Jane's scrunchie on his wrist. He also has long hair, but I know for a fact it's hers. He held and kissed the baby with the fucking scrunchie on his wrist. I legitimately thought I was gonna throw up. I had a panic attack, I think, at the smoking area. I was crying and couldn't breathe. I come from a divorced family because of my father's infidelity, so this hits too close to home. I'm losing sleep. Please tell me what I should do in this situation. Should I send the wife an anonymous message? I only have her Instagram. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Am I in the wrong for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after she secretly dated and got engaged to my ex-fiance? I, 28 female, was engaged to my ex-fiance, Mike, 30 male, for 2 years. We were together for 5 years in total, and we were supposed to get married last summer. About 3 months before our wedding, I found out that he had been cheating on me with someone else. It was devastating, and I called off the wedding immediately. Mike moved away shortly after we broke up, and I thought that that was the end of it. I was heartbroken, but I slowly started to move on with my life. Fast forward to last month. I get a call from my younger sister, Lily, 25 female, saying she has exciting news and wants me to come over to our parents' house for dinner to share it. When I arrived, Lily and my parents were all smiles, and she drops the bombshell. She's engaged to Mike. My head is spinning. I felt like I was going to pass out. Lily and Mike had been secretly dating for the past year, and now they were engaged. My parents had known about it for months, but decided to keep it from me to protect my feelings. They actually thought I'd be happy for them eventually. Lily tried to justify it by saying that she and Mike fell in love after our breakup and that their relationship is meant to be. She insisted that they didn't start dating until after we were officially over. Since then, my parents and Lily have been bombarding me with calls and texts, calling me selfish and saying I'm overreacting. But I felt betrayed on so many levels. I told them all that I wanted nothing to do with their wedding and stormed out. They claim that true love is rare and I should support Lily's happiness. Now the wedding is in a few months and the pressure is on. My parents have even threatened to cut me off financially if I don't attend. Some friends think that I should go to keep the peace and show that I'm over it, while others are appalled and say I have every right to be angry and to stay away. To add insult to injury, Lily recently asked if I would be her maid of honor, claiming that she wants to mend our relationship. This request has left me torn. I don't want to ruin our family dynamic further, but I just can't shake the hurt and betrayal that I feel. So, am I in the wrong?